Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Comfort Circle. Today we have with us a very special guest. Her name is Stacy, and she is a virtual dietitian who has been working with cancer patients for the last 15 years and helping them with cancer foods and how they can help their diets post chemo. Thank you so much for joining us today, Stacy.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to get started and talking about food, my favorite topic.
Yeah, I was just looking at your profile in the last few days, and some of those recipes just looked so good. Like I'm gonna try them.
You need to. I mean, we got to keep cooking simple and easy. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to take hours. Use what's in the
Yeah,
cabinets, use what's in the refrigerator.
yeah. Shelf cooking. Pretty
Yes.
much. Yeah, so I'm just gonna like give you a bunch of questions, and then
Yeah.
you can answer them as you like. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess my first question is like something that a lot of people wonder. Do cancer patients have to cut out their favorite foods after they get their diagnosis?
I hate talking about like foods to avoid or things that you should cut out because if we sit here and I tell you, because I see bread in the background and muffins, like if I say you can't eat muffins anymore or breads and that's something that you really like, you're going to think about it and want it even more. And you might give it up for a little while and then you're going to overindulge in it.
Yeah.
Everything, if you have the mindset of that everything is okay to have, like cookies, cakes, can't whatever it is, you're not going to want it as much versus something that's like a forbidden type food. But we do want to focus on the good foods. I'm not saying that our diet should be focused on breads and pasta and cookies, cakes, candies, but they're okay in moderation or, once in a while, once a month, once a week, a little at a time.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. Like, I feel like even for me, I'm someone who likes to watch what I eat. So if I ever try to cut out sweets, I always end up overindulging in them.
Right. I mean, I do the same. It's like, okay, I'm going to avoid pasta. And then like you tend to think about it and want it and, you start noticing it in places that you never noticed it before and then you tend to overeat it. But it's okay to eat pasta. I'm not saying eat a whole box of pasta, but if you're
Yeah.
having it as a side dish, like, hey, why not? It's giving you some carbs, it's giving you some energy, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. That is very true. I
Mhm.
guess my next question, just bouncing off of that, is like, what is one nutrition trend that you've noticed which has caused more harm to the cancer community than good?
Oh, I think there's a ton. I think there's so much misinformation out there that it's harmed patients. I mean, I think people become, they get more eating disorders this way because they're scared to eat because they were told, don't eat meat, don't eat dairy, don't eat sugar, don't eat carbs. And it's like, what's left to eat? Like, I
Yeah.
had a client call me and she's in tears. She goes, Stacey, I have nothing in my house. My family ransacked my cabinets, my refrigerator. They took everything because they told me everything is going to give me
Wow.
cancer. And I'm like, okay, and I try to be funny. I'm very lighthearted, but I'm like, okay, first question, you have a car? Yes, I have a car. I'm like, do you have money? Yes. You have the keys to the car? Yes. I said, get in your car and go to the supermarket and go food shopping and get food for your house. One meal is not going to cause someone's cancer. It's not going to make cancer worse.
Yeah.
Um, but there are so many trends. The sugar, the meat, the dairy to avoid all these things. Yes, let's get into it. Sugar, is it good for anybody? Absolutely not. Sugar is not good for people with cancer or without cancer. We do want to minimize the amount of added sugar that we have in our diet. And here in the US, they redid the food labels and it shows you how much added sugar. And that's what we want to think about it more and look at
Yeah.
some of the nutrients and or some of the foods that we buy and see how much added sugar is in it. because we really want to limit the added sugar. It's recommended less than 26 grams of added sugar a day. So if you bought, like, let's just say you wanted a hamburger with ketchup on it, and ketchup is high in added sugar, and you really wanted the ketchup, okay, you could use it, or you could use like a lower sugar ketchup, or just balance it out for the rest of the day. Be like, okay, I know I'm getting a lot of sugar from this ketchup. The rest of the day, I'm gonna, really watch myself. So the
Yeah.
added sugar is important to look out for. Meat. People are like, oh, I can't eat meat. I can't eat chicken. I can't eat beef. You can eat it. It's a great source of protein. Your beef, you do want to limit it to about 18 ounces a week of red
Mm,
meat, which is considered beef, lamb, and pork. But for some people, 18 ounces is a lot. So, like, the palm of your hand is about 3 to 4 ounces. So, you could do that 3 to 4
yeah.
times a week. And for some
Yeah.
people, that's okay. For some men, 18 ounces is one big steak that they eat at the steakhouse. But we
Yeah.
do want to, minimize the amount of it that we're having.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Like I feel like that's good advice in general. Just everything in moderation is
Yeah, and
fine
I
for you.
think sometimes when patients are going through treatment, meat is one of the things that they're turned off by. That's like one of the foods at the beginning. I feel like everyone's like, "Oh, I can't eat meat." And that's perfectly fine. There's other sources of protein. If it's from tofu, edamame, beans, nuts, seeds, yogurt, cottage cheese, there's other ways to get protein besides meat products.
Yeah.
Fish is good. Yeah.
Yeah. You just mentioned that like patients are turned off by food. So I was just gonna ask you, like, when people are going through chemotherapy, they find it very difficult to keep food down and they feel very nauseous. So what do you recommend to people to keep themselves nourished even while they're feeling that way?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and the caregivers who are so important,
Yeah.
little small meals. Like, we don't even have to call it meals anymore, even if it's just snacks, because sometimes the looks of food turn people off. And I know I've been a caregiver, like, we love our loved ones and we want them to eat, so we
Yeah.
give them a big plate of food. But just the sometimes the looks of food could turn people off. So we don't want to give them too much. It's like a child, a little bit at a time. Even if you took a sandwich, cut it into 4 pieces and give a quarter um, to the person. If they
Yeah.
finish it, they feel more accomplished than giving them the whole sandwich, them only taking a bite. They're mad because they know they should have eaten more. The caregiver's mad because they just made a sandwich and they only took a bite.
Yeah.
So it's a mind game, and it's really helpful that we just do a little bit at a time, but you have to do the little bit at a time more frequently. So every hour, every half hour, take a bite of something, take a spoonful of yogurt, take a handful of nuts. It doesn't have to be the big meals. And that also helps. Sometimes with the nausea too, I get it. You don't feel good. You don't want to eat. But if you go long periods of time without eating, the nausea could get worse. So stick with bland foods, soups, toast, crackers, little things just to have something in the stomach. Otherwise, the nausea could get worse. And also sometimes ginger helps with nausea. Ginger tea, ginger candy, just slice up some ginger, throw it in some boiling water. Um, and drink it. I always have ginger in my freezer,
Yeah.
just because it's just easy. It's easy to add for recipes. It's easy for teas. So those are some little things to help with the nausea. But we want to prevent it from happening than trying to get rid of it, because it's harder to get rid of
Yeah.
it than to prevent it.
Yeah. So to prevent it would be to not skip meals.
Not skip meals, the little meals. And if the doctor, not that I'm a big advocate for medications, but if the doctor does give you an anti-nausea medicine and tells you to take it every 6 hours, take it just to try to prevent it from happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like caregivers always are struggling with how they can help. So,
Yes.
especially with food, like, is there any advice that you would want to give to caregivers other than the one that you gave? That was really good as well.
Don't take it personal. Like, you're doing the best that you can. And have to say to caregivers, you need to take care of you first. Because if you're not doing well and you're stressed and, undernourished, you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else. So
Yeah.
taking care of you is important, but don't take it personal if you make a meal, because I see it all the time. Caregivers make meals and the patient doesn't want to eat it, and it's not you most of the time. It's not you.
Right.
Um,
That makes
so
sense.
and also, make batches of food, freeze them. So for days that you don't feel like cooking, at least you have healthy meals in the freezer. So if it's soups or stews, even vegetables, sometimes with fruit, if I see it going bad, I throw it in the freezer just so I can make smoothies with it. So keep your life simple and make
Yeah.
meals and, portion it out, just because it's tough to cook every day and take care of someone. So make it extra, especially if your loved one likes it, make sure extra so they
Yeah.
have it for the future.
Yeah. Well, that's great advice. What are your thoughts on supplements? I've seen like a lot of trends with supplements for cancer survivors or even people who are going through
Yeah.
chemotherapy at the time. So what do you think?
I mean, I think they could be good and bad. If you are going to do a supplement, you just want to make sure it's third party tested. Just because let's take vitamin C, for example. It could
Yeah.
say that it's 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, but who really knows what's in it until it's tested? So you want to
Yeah.
make sure it's third party tested. Also, some of the vitamins, I always tell clients to get blood work done. See if you really need these vitamins, because some of them are water soluble. So if you take a lot of it, you urinate it out. So vitamin C, if you take a lot of it, I don't know if you've noticed, after you take it, your urine is like a bright orangey yellow color. Well, hello,
Mhm.
that's all the vitamin C coming out. You're making your urine more expensive. Your body didn't need it. But some of your vitamins are fat soluble vitamins, so that you don't urinate them out. So getting blood work done to make sure it's needed, because you don't want to just take vitamins to take vitamins because your neighbor took it or the guy across the street took a vitamin. It might not help you. It might be a placebo, save your money. It's better to get your vitamins through foods through versus supplements,
Mhm.
but I'm realistic too. Sometimes you're not eating well and you do need extra nutrients, but we just want to make sure those vitamins are quality vitamins and not, you know,
Yeah.
something that's full of sugar or salt or a placebo type thing.
Yeah, that makes sense because I feel like with trends, it's that people usually jump on without
Yeah.
doing their research because it's an
Yes.
easy way out.
Yeah. And also, vitamins and supplements aren't going to cure the cancer. If you're taking it for that reason, um,
Yeah. I
it's,
feel like a lot of people feel very disconnected from their bodies after going through treatment. And it has a lot to do with food, but
yeah.
also the treatment, how it changes their body. So, how would you tell someone how to start trusting their body again after cancer?
Yeah. I mean, some people don't trust their bodies before they started treatment. So they didn't trust it before, and now they're scared to eat because everything's going to cure the cancer. I mean, there's so
Yeah,
much food fear out there. I
exactly.
always tell people, like, don't go on Google. Don't Google it, because half the stuff is baloney. You want to work with professionals that can help you. Um, but we do want to listen to our bodies. Our bodies know better than we do. We just have to go back to listening to them, especially with our hunger. A lot of my patients who've had breast cancer, they gain weight and they are not happy
Yeah,
campers. Um, want to some people think, oh, I'm going to get cancer, I'm going to lose weight. But some of the side effects is that you gain weight. So some patients
yeah,
are not happy with that. But after treatment, we want to go back and pay attention to our hunger cues. Are we hungry? Are we satisfied with what we're eating? Even if you take the scale from 0 to 10, 0 being you're so hungry you could eat anything, 10 being you're so full, like Thanksgiving Day full, we don't want to get to either of those points. We want to start
yeah,
eating when we're about a 3, and we want to finish when we're about a 7. But paying attention to how we're feeling. Are we really hungry? Is it that we've come to trust the time? Like, oh, it's 12 o'clock, I have to eat. But then you're thinking about it, you're like, well, I'm not really hungry. That works for some people, but for some people, they have no appetite at all. So we have to go back to eating at certain times to get your body reacquainted with eating, because
Yeah.
you go long periods of time without eating. So everyone's different on that, but we really need to go back to listening to our bodies of what it wants and what it needs, and listening to it, and you know not giving into it, but eat what it wants.
Yeah,
Like if
like
you
I heard recently there's a term for it. I think it's called intuitive eating.
mhm,
Yeah.
yep, you want to pay more attention to it. And sometimes I everyone does it, but like let's just say you wanted a piece of chocolate cake because it's in the house. You're like, yeah, but I don't really want it. I'm gonna eat an apple and peanut butter instead. And then
Yeah.
you eat the apple and peanut butter and you're like, yeah, but I still want that cake. So now you just go eat a little piece of like a chocolate protein bar to satisfy the chocolate thing. And you're like,
Yeah.
nah, I still want the cake. And then you finally eat the cake. And it's like, you should have just eaten the cake to begin with, because now you just ate 500 extra calories when
Yeah.
you could have just eaten the thing from the beginning. So, listening to your body, if that's something that you really want, I believe in the 3 bite rule. Um,
Yeah.
just because, like, let's just take the cake, for example. The first bite is usually, oh my goodness, like the best. Oh, this is what I wanted. This is so good. The second bite, you're like, okay, this is good. By the third bite, it's like, it's a piece of chocolate cake. Well, stop right there. Push the cake away, move. At least you
Yeah.
didn't deprive yourself. You still had it, and you move on. You don't have to eat the whole thing. You don't have, sometimes people think, well, I have to finish it because I don't want it to go bad. It's okay. Like, let it go bad. Give it to your neighbor. Give it to somebody else. You don't have to finish it. You don't have to
Yeah.
eat it.
It's true. It's like I always think like that. I don't want the food to go to waste, but
Yes.
like you're gonna feel bad about it afterwards. You'd rather let the food go to waste.
I do that with my son sometimes. Like, he doesn't finish his like chicken tenders and fries. And I'm like, oh, I don't want it to go to waste. I might as well just finish it. But then I'm like, what's the big deal? So if it's a half a chicken left, I could bring it home. He could
Yeah.
have it another time. you know I don't have to eat it. My husband doesn't have to eat it. We don't have to finish
Yeah.
it. You could always bring it home or save it for later.
You're so right about
But we do. I mean, I think some of us, we were brought up that you have to finish the plate and you can't leave and whatever someone gives you, and that's not the case. If I cook dinner in my house and I give a plate to my husband and I give a plate to my son, but it's my, like, I don't know, like, I just put stuff on the plate. I don't know how much he's going to actually eat. It
Yeah.
might be too much or it might be too little for them. So who am I to be like, you have to finish that? That portion size was not based on anything. It was just based on
Yeah.
looks and how it looked pretty on the plate. So
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to finish what's on your plate. Even caregivers, eat what's on your plate. Eat, but if it's only 1 or 2 bites that someone wants to eat, it's okay. Because the more
Yeah.
stress that they have, it's not going to be a pleasurable experience. Food should be pleasurable and it should be happy. So if they
I
eat two
see.
bites, that's better than eating zero. So that is a great
True.
accomplishment. Right.
I feel like you're the perfect person to ask because I've been doing a lot of research on this, but I don't know what the right answer is. If you had to tell the top 3 foods that people who are going through chemotherapy should eat, what would they be?
Top 3 foods. I think what you want, like what you're craving. But if you want to focus on
From like
certain,
health benefits,
yes,
maybe. Yeah.
health benefits. So I think
Yeah.
berries are great. Any of your berries, your blueberries, your raspberries, you want to wash them really well before you eat them. But they're full of antioxidants. They're full of fiber. Um, so I think that's something that could be added to someone's diet. Another food I would always say are nuts, your almonds, your walnuts, because they're very versatile. You could have it as a
Yeah.
nut butter, you could add it to a smoothie, you could add it to a salad, but they're full of omega 3s, they're full of your good fats, um, and they have antioxidants in them too. And a third one, I would say I'm obsessed with I'm obsessed with basil seeds.
Jesus. I
So
love
so usually people don't know what they are, but it's exactly like chia seeds, but there's more nutrients in them and there's more fiber in them. So 2 tablespoons gives you 15 grams of fiber, and that's half your fiber for the day. It has iron, it has protein. So that's another food I think, we should talk more about and add to our diets. Um,
It's
because
true.
it's a very secretive food. But chia seeds are great too. I'm not bashing them if that's what you could find and that's what you could get. Those are great too. You just have to eat more of them to get the fiber. But the fiber and the protein are really important depending on, your treatment and what you're going through. But
Yeah.
those are the three foods I would say focus on.
Honestly, might be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like basil seeds taste better than chia seeds, in my
Do you?
opinion.
I
Yeah.
don't, yeah, I don't feel like they taste like anything. I add them to I do a protein shake in the morning and I just add it to my protein shake
Yeah.
and I don't even know that they're there, but they don't taste like basil. Because that's what a lot of people
Yeah.
ask me. I don't think.
I think it's more about the texture than the taste because even chia seeds, I
Mhm.
guess, don't taste like anything. But
Yeah,
I mean, I
basil
have a
seeds.
fun little segment which is myth busting.
Okay.
So I'm gonna tell you like a bunch of myths that I found online, and you're gonna tell me if it's a myth or if it's true. Okay. So the first one is that you have to completely cut out sugar because it feeds the cancer.
Definitely, it's a myth, but it's true. Just because any of your carbohydrates break down to sugar and they feed all of your cells. Like we said before, it's the added sugar that we really want to cut down on or cut out versus the sugar that's found in fruit and your carbohydrate,
Like
your good
natural
carbs, that
sugars.
natural sugars. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So the next one is you must eat 100% organic food.
No, you do. I mean, if you could afford it and that's what you want to do, go for it, but it's not necessary to do.
Coffee or tea are bad during cancer.
No, they're good. I mean, it depends on the teas too. And the amounts of it. But coffee usually, depending on the cancer, is fine to have. The problem with coffee and tea is usually what we add to it, not the coffee and the tea itself. It's the sugar and the creamers and everything else that we add to it.
Yeah, all right. Juice can detox the body of cancer toxins.
It's a myth, but juicing, I'm not a big fan of juicing just because with juicing, you're getting rid of all the fiber from it. So if you're going to juice, add the fiber back in or have it with a high protein meal. But juicing is just carbohydrates. It could
Hmm.
help support your immune system and detoxing, but it's not going to detox your body.
Okay. Supplements can cure you.
No, false, negative. Uh,
You can't eat red meat ever again.
No, you could enjoy red meat. Less than 18 ounces a week.
Less than 80 ounces. Got it. Cold foods are dangerous during treatment.
Cold foods?
Cold, like cold.
COLD. Well, it depends
Yeah.
on the treatment that you're going through. So some treatments you can't have cold foods. So it is truth, but it's not for everybody.
All right. I guess that was it for the myth busting. You did great. The last thing I guess I want to ask about the myths is there any myth that you have specifically heard that you feel like is a major myth?
That you have to go vegan. Once because I have so many clients who come to me once they're diagnosed with cancer that they got rid of everything and they want to become a vegan. And if that's your choice and that's what you want to do, I support you and I will help you. However, you don't have to. You don't have to become a vegan. I've seen a lot of vegans and vegetarians who don't eat healthy because they're not eating the meat. They're not eating the chicken, the fish, any of that, but now they're eating a lot of processed things.
Yeah.
So, you know, even what is it? Oreos are vegan, snowballs are vegan, like all these desserts. So when you say you're becoming a vegan or vegetarian, it does not mean that it's a healthy diet, because I
Yeah,
think a lot of people who, not a lot, I don't want to generalize, but some people who are starting out, they don't get enough protein when they're following a vegan and vegetarian diet because they don't know other sources of protein.
yeah, that yeah makes
Yeah.
sense. If I were to tell you that you can give one piece of advice to someone who got diagnosed today, what would you say?
Love life. It's not a death sentence. Like, to be honest, there's so much help out there, um, that it doesn't mean you're going to die tomorrow. Because I see a lot of, you know, you have to deal with it. If it's crying, yelling, screaming, whatever, but life will go on. But it doesn't mean you're going to die. We're all going to die, but it doesn't mean you're going to die right now from the cancer. Um, there's so many amazing stories out there of people with cancer, um, and live life. It doesn't have to be the end all. And
Yeah,
do your research, see what's out there. I know there's a lot of misinformation out there, but there's a lot of good information too. Speak to the professionals, speak to the doctors, the social workers, the dietitians. There's so many people out there who want to help, who've been through, might not have been through it themselves, but have been in the industry for so long and can help guide you. Like I said, there's misinformation. There's people who are trying to sell snake oil out there. There's been some documentaries recently on some crazy stories with cancer patients. I don't know if you ever saw the documentary Apple Cider Vinegar, but if
oh,
you
I've
haven't,
heard about it, but yeah, yeah.
but there are people out there, like that, trying to sell,
Hmm.
and we just got to be smart on the choices that we make
Yeah.
and do what's
Um,
right for you.
I think that was my last question. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us, Stacy. That was so much fun, and I hope that you had a good time as well.
Of course. Well, thank you for having me. This was great.